This is not good advice, people. We don't sit here. He couldn't get a hold of his doctor, so he turned around and started a whole nother medication. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's not, he's, no. Oh my God. That's not okay. Why are we telling people this? What are you doing?
All right. So
you say you work in this field.
For all of you who struggle.
Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. How are you guys doing? I hope you're having a great rest of your day. So today I'm reacting to the Rewired Soul again. I saw he made a video. I ran out of Prozac. Looks interesting. I want to see what he has to say, where he's going with this. But before I even get into all of that, if you're new here, welcome. This is Journey to Find Kay, and I'm Kay. I like to talk about mental health and weight loss. I like to react to the Rewired Soul and Amberlynn Reid because one is for mental health and one is for weight loss. And so if you're interested, if you like what you guys see, definitely don't be afraid to subscribe. I'd love to have you guys in my wonderful little family on this platform. If you hear any dingling in the background, sounds like bells, those are my cats. It's nighttime, it's late nighttime. You already know, or if you don't know, cats are nocturnal, they be running around. So I do apologize in advance, but it is what it is. So he made a video. I ran out of Prozac. Like I said, he uploads like every day, I guess, or almost every day. So this actually stuck out to me. I had actually did another reaction. I don't know if I'm gonna put it out yet, but this stuck out because of I ran out of Prozac. I want to see what happened. Where is he going with this? Is he going to talk about issues with getting medications, or is he going to talk about dealing if you run out of medications, what you should do? So I'm interested in seeing this. So let's go ahead and get right on into this video. Okay.
So, as some of you saw yesterday when I posted on Twitter, as well as
Sorry
Instagram,
about my chair.
that I ran out of my Prozac. All right, so in this video,
back on
I wanted to
Lexapro.
discuss the very real situation that a lot of you get into where you run out of medications because the healthcare system isn't so great here in the United States.
Facts.
But I also had a reply on Instagram to the effect of, have you ever just tried being sad? And the inner angry Chris wanted to be offended by this statement. But the reality is there are a lot of misconceptions about antidepressants and depression and anxiety and everything like that. So let's clear all that stuff up in this video.
And let me clear up anything that needs cleared up from his clearing up. That made sense.
What is up, everybody? This is Chris from the Rewired Soul, where we talk about the problem, but focus on the solution. And if you're new to my channel is all about mental health. So what I try to do sometimes is share a little bit of my experience, give some advice based on my experience and what I've learned over the years. So if you're into that stuff, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. And make sure you follow me over on Instagram and Twitter at The Rewired Soul, because I often get feedback from all of you guys, ask you about topics that you want me to cover.
I'll be thirsty.
Like
Sorry,
so
guys.
make sure you follow me over on social media. All
Gotta
right.
drink that water.
Yeah, like I said, we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to be talking about medications. We're going to talk about running out. We're going to talk about misconceptions about medications and everything. So
I knew I chose this video for a reason.
I can't remember if I did it on my website, therewiredsoul.com, or over on Medium.
Shameless plug.
I just finished reading two great
Ain't mad at you. You got a website, I don't.
It's called Good Reasons for Bad Feelings. It's all about evolutionary psychology and why we get anxious, why we get depressed. It even dives into addiction and eating disorders and schizophrenia, and it takes a whole evolutionary look at all these things. And I also finished reading a book called Saving Normal, and this was written by the guy who headed the team that wrote the DSM-4, all right? And a lot of what both these books were talking about is how some of these feelings are absolutely normal. We have a
I'll never forget when the DSM-5 came out. Oh, everybody was like, ah!
Right? So I'm going to circle back to that a little bit later, but first I just want to share my experience about being on antidepressants. And the thing is, like, unless you're talking about Xanax, pretty much everything else is like just classified as an antidepressant, right?
No. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. First off, you ain't gonna come up on here and like say you're reading these what sound really interesting books. They sound interesting, but then go off and sprout. Look at your face. I'm so childish. I'm sorry. But you ain't gonna sit here and sprout lies. No. So let me see. This is why I said, let me clear up anything that needs cleared up from his clearing up. You see why I said that? So let me just sit here and fix this. There's not just, oh, everything else is antidepressants. There are different types of psychiatric medications. Xanax is part of an anti-anxiety medication. He says benzos. It is a benzodiazepine, but there are also anti-anxiety medications that are not part of that family because benzos are addictive and are really bad for your body. Just being honest. But there are other ones out there that aren't part of that family, but they are an anti-anxiety medication. There's stimulants. You mainly think of Ritalin. You think of Adderall. Those are for, what they're for people with like ADHD, ADD. That's another type of psychiatric medication. There's antidepressants, which he is talking about. That is to help those who are depressed. I am someone who is always going to be open about my mental health, who is bipolar. I am on an antipsychotic and a mood stabilizer. Sorry, got all for a second. And a mood stabilizer because my psychiatrist told me, and something that I have also learned in the field as well, is a lot of times if a person is diagnosed bipolar, you do not see them get too many. You usually don't see them too many times get on an antidepressant unless it's like you really need to. But usually it's a mood stabilizer and an antipsychotic. And then there's also, no, actually, I think that's it. Yeah, mood stabilizers, antipsychotics, anti-anxieties, and see, I'm tired, y'all. Can you tell? Stimulants. So it's not just, oh, everything else is antidepressants. No, it's not. There's different categories, different things, different medications for different purposes. It's not just all antidepressants because not everyone's depressed. There are different type of mental illnesses. So we ain't, like I said, we ain't gonna sit up here and say, oh, I've been reading these books. I know what I'm talking about, but you just started off with that.
Xanax, more benzodiazepines as a whole, like Valium and things like that. But anyways, I was diagnosed with a generalized anxiety.
Names things to sound important. This is where I get bothered. See, this is where I get bothered. This is why I made my channel, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was subscribed to him. I loved his channel back in the day. I will always say that. Loved this channel back in the day because I was excited to see someone else on this platform talking about mental health. Thought he was doing it at a great angle. But then I started actually paying attention to what was being said, and I don't agree with a lot of it, or a lot of it I feel like needs further explanation. You're here to say, talk about it, educate. This ain't educating when you're telling, oh, everything else. No, we can't use that type of talk, that terminology. We can't talk like that. We can't. You know this field. You say your channel's about mental health. You know what this is about. Let's educate. Let's use our platform. Can we do that? So you guys got that's the list. That's the list of what psychiatric meds are. It's not just antidepressants and benzos. Oh, you see I get mad because I take this stuff serious.
Disorder, all right? And I also have depression. The primary reason that I actually take medications is for my anxiety, all right? Like, if it was like, which one's worse, it's my anxiety, and the depression is, it's down here. It's something that's a kind of a pain in the ass to deal with, but the anxiety is the worst part. But anyways, when I got diagnosed about 7 years ago, they put me on Lexapro. I'm going to link a video up in the info card about why I switched from Lexapro to Prozac. It had to do with, side effects and, just some other stuff like that after I was on it for years. But yeah, I've been on Prozac for the most part.
It happens. Meds get changed.
Almost a year, I think, just kind of off and on. So anyways, when I switch from one medication to another, and there's one piece of advice I'll give all of you. When you're switching medications, always have a refill of your old medications, all right? Like, going through that whole rigmarole of, like, getting the new medication and then maybe it doesn't work out and then having to set up a doctor's appointment and getting a different refill. Like, I always make sure I have a backup. And the other thing is, too,
let's not do that. Let's make sure we're paying attention to the expiration dates because now you're kind of encouraging people to keep their medications. No, if you're not supposed to take it, because doses just change. Like, What I would have actually said was see if your psychiatrist is willing to help you titrate. But trying to you like I don't know. I know things are different in different states and stuff like that, but I know when I see my psychiatrist, the second I meet with him, he sends my refills. He any changes I get, he sends that to my pharmacy. So it's like instantaneous. It's not like I get my meds that same day. You see what I'm saying? Now, I know not everyone might have the ability to do that, but that's usually the case. When it comes to your psychiatric medications, even working in my own clinic, when we have clients calling in asking for meds, we take care of that within 24 hours and get that sent over. Like if you come in to see us, or come see our psychiatrist to get your meds, do your med check, and any changes, it's sent the same day. You're able to go home and get it the same day. So you don't need to keep that. We don't suggest that because that's one, you're more likely to keep old expired medications. But then on top of it, what if dosages change? Stuff like that. So don't listen to that.
You're switching or getting off of one and onto another one. Make sure it's under a doctor's
You do what you want to do, but I wouldn't suggest
Like-
it. Like a doctor supervision.
For example,
Yes.
one time after I wasn't taking Lexapro for a while and I got back on it, like I started out with my original dose, which I think was like 20 milligrams, and I was sick to my stomach like all day long. Like I thought I was gonna puke. You know what I mean? And those are like mild symptoms compared to what some other people have when they go back and forth on medications. But anyways, I ran into a situation that a lot of you have run into where I don't have health insurance. Well, let me correct that. I didn't have health insurance. I'm in a weird situation right now. But anyways, I was self-employed for the most part of the last year. Some of you saw that I recently went back to work. I have a full-time job. I have a part-time job. I also have YouTube and everything else that I'm doing, right? But anyways, I haven't had insurance, but luckily the pharmacy that I use here, they gave me like this little discount card because I also take some blood pressure medications, and like the medications were super cheap. I think for 3 months of Prozac, it was about, I don't know, I think like $10, which is not bad.
That's not
at all. But anyways, I saw that I was running out. I was running out of Prozac.
It's really not, because with my insurance for one of my medications, it is like $2. So that's actually really good for 3 months. That's really good for as much as they can be.
And I tried calling my doctor to see if she could just refill my prescription. And I have one of the best primary care doctors. Like, I know a lot of people have bad experiences with doctors, but like, my doctor is amazing. And I don't know what's going on.
Always.
Months,
If you're not comfortable with a doctor, get a new one.
Out of pocket for. But yeah, I tried calling earlier this week when I got back in town to be like, yo, I need a refill. And usually they make you come in, but like my doctor knows I haven't had insurance, so she'll try to just refill my prescriptions as long as,
Are we telling on our doctors now? I can't. Oh my goodness. You're like dry snitching on your doctor. She does that as a kindness. There's reasons why they want to have eye-to-eye contact with you before they do that. I have clients who get mad. They get mad. We will do a bridge if it's only been a little bit. If it's been like maybe a month, we haven't seen you, we'll do a bridge. The most, maybe 2 months. Maybe. But he doesn't say how long it's been. But if it's been a minute, like he's saying,
they're not like addictive medications or dangerous or anything like that. Like some doctors will just refill it without you coming in. One of the reasons doctors have you come in though is because some medications are addictive. Some medications do have more severe side effects. So before they keep you on a medication, they want to do a follow-up. All right? The pessimistic view is like, oh, they just want money for these visits.
no, it's legit. We want to we want to see you. We want to make sure you're okay. One of my duties at my job is when we have clients that do not show up for their med appointments and they have a history of any type of suicidal or homicidal ideation in their past, I have to go see them. I have to go to your house to make sure you're okay, because we are responsible for you under once we start taking care of you for your psychiatric care, we are responsible for you while you are under our care. And if something happens, say you hurt yourself or you hurt someone else, we've had it to where clients have done that and they've looked at us like, hey, so why haven't you followed up with this person? This person hadn't been seen. It's important to be seen by your providers before they give you medications. That's primary care, that's your psychiatric, that's everybody. And with my job, I see this every day. I see it every day. So, he just dry snitching on his doctor.
So they can follow up with you. But anyways, I couldn't get a hold of my doctor. I couldn't get a hold of anybody at the office, and I ran out of my Prozac. And like I mentioned, I had a backup of my Lexapro. So this is the second day in a row where I've been on Lexapro after I ran out of Prozac. And because of my full-time job, I just qualified for health insurance. I haven't gotten my information in yet, but like if it was something I was really freaking out about, I could probably, call the insurance provider and get the numbers and stuff like that, and, set up an appointment and all these other things. You know what I mean? But it's just not something that I'm freaking out about at this point because
This is not good advice, people. We don't sit here. He couldn't get a hold of his doctor, so he turned around and started a whole nother medication. That's not okay. That's not okay. No. Oh my God. That's not okay. Why are we telling people this? What are you doing?
All right. So
you say you work in this field.
For all of you who struggle with medications and everything like
and
that.
I'm sorry, I keep stopping, but I'm not naive. I understand people do what they got to do because I've had to do that. There's been plenty of times where I couldn't afford to have health insurance. I couldn't afford to pay for it out of pocket. I couldn't afford even to have it coming out of my paycheck. I went for a while without health insurance. But the fact that he had it's different. I can understand it's still bad, okay? There are psychiatric urgent cares out there that help people. If you ever catch yourself in a bind, I need you to contact your community resources. Out here in Arizona, we have a psychiatric urgent care to where if you run out of your medications and you feel like you need to be seen or you need help getting them, you don't have insurance, stuff like that, you go there, they treat you, they give you a prescription, they can fill it for you so that way until you're able to get, you see, and it's at a discounted price like he was able to do with a prescription card. Don't just take meds that you have on hand. You don't do that. And I understand he's trying to say it as a way to relate. We still got a good 7 minutes in this video, but this is so bad. Like, this is so bad. You don't do that. And like I said, I'm not sitting here like, no. Oh, I don't understand. I understand. I definitely understand. But now that I'm deeper into this field and like I said, I'm a patient and I'm an advocate for this. I want people to take care of their mental health healthy and safely. So definitely get in contact. I always keep in my description down below a substance abuse and mental health hotline. They can help you get to resources in your area. If you know the community resources number in your area, call them so they can set you up even with transportation to a psychiatric or hospital if need be to get you medicated on the proper medications. But don't just sit here and take an old prescription that he had and I don't care if you've taken it before, because again, you're not a doctor and he is someone who works in this field and swears to God that this is something I can't, you don't know. This is why I made my channel, people. This is why.
How many of you can't afford therapy, but you would go if you could? And it's just very apparent.
Also, if you can't afford therapy, another thing to look into, if you have like a community college or a college near you, definitely look into them. They do it discounted or free. There's also, if you Google like free legal aid in your area, there's it might take you a minute to get help. Or what am I talking about? Legal aid. See my job coming out of me. Schools have therapists. There's also, if you Google like therapy, it's mainly schools that you would hit. I know like out here, big universities, they do it at discounted or free rates because these people need clinical experience. So that's something that you can do as well. He got me so flustered. I'm talking about my legal aid, like work just came out. Like, ugh.
that a lot of you out there do care about your mental health, but you don't have the resources, all right? But just remember that Medicare and stuff like that, like if you're unemployed, like you can typically qualify for state insurance that will get you the mental health medications. There are also a lot of resources in different cities and states for free mental health care, even if you don't have Medicare yet.
Thank you.
I know here in Las Vegas, they have probably 3 or 4 locations of free mental health clinics.
There you
and they'll
go.
refill medications and things like that.
So why didn't you do that? But you're, see, you know this. You know this. You know this, but you didn't do it. Practice what you preach. It's pride, and it's because of the fact that he knows he could have, he could just, you make decent money on YouTube, bruh. You make decent money on YouTube. You could have afforded to go into your doctor, pay for it out of pocket, pay for your medications out of pocket like you did with your prescription card. You could have did it. Especially when you understand how important it is to take care of your mental health. You know this information, practice what you preach. Because everything you're saying in this video is exactly what people should not be doing. No.
That I got, where have you ever just tried being sad, right? So, like I said, like I just finished reading those 2 books, Good Reasons for Bad Feelings and Saving Normal.
Telling those books does not make what you just said any less
it's
ignorant.
This fine line, because I'm a recovering prescription drug addict. I hate taking medications. I absolutely hate taking medications because of the prescription drug epidemic in the United States. You know, I'm very mindful of the overprescribing and everything like that. So I'm like, you know.
Let me say one thing that I have experienced, just real quick in this video, because we're almost done, that I have experienced out here is because of this epidemic, a lot of the doctors have become a lot more strict. I have a lot of clients who might have been the type to take advantage of when it was a lot looser, getting those prescriptions, mad. I have a lot of clients that I feel personally suffer from it becoming so strict because they are, and I get annoyed, but I'm not mad because it's understandable. But I do see clients who do need the assistance have to jump through a lot more hoops. So as much as he wants to say like, oh, I'm not going to do that to him though. It's his recovery. It's his feelings. It's how he feels. I'm not going to push that on him. But I will say just from my own experience being, you know, what I do, you know, as my job, a lot of the doctors out here that I see anyway are very strict. And if you want anything stronger than what your PCP is comfortable with and the limitations that they have out here, are strict, where like even with pain medications, your PCP can't give you an extended amount. You have to go straight to a pain management doctor for that. So I've seen it get stricter. So I don't know if that's something he might have to work out or if it's something he might need to do a little bit more research in his area to see if it's not if they're as strict as well. So that way he's not living in that fear because he has to take his meds. You know, I'm one of those people, if meds is something that you believe works for you and helps you, you should take them. As annoying as they can be.
Right?
I'm not perfect. I don't take, I have my days where I forget my meds, you know.
My end goal is not to just have good mental health and get off meds, right? But
that's not always possible either.
Is that some of us do need these medications.
There you go.
So the first thing that we'll talk about is that comment specifically. Have
there
you
ever
just tried being sad? Yes. All right, and I recommend all of you do the same. One of the biggest misconceptions about antidepressants is that they're just this happy pill.
Yeah.
I remember back in college,
they're not.
One of my best friends, he went through a breakup. He had his high school sweetheart. We went off to college. They broke up, and he was so sad, right? So, like, part of those 2 books I've referenced, like, it is normal to be sad after a breakup. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. It is normal to be sad after a breakup, all right? It's normal to be sad after someone close to you passes away. These are normal feelings. But my friend, he was talking
there's points where it gets too deep.
Different doctors and things like that. And he even talked to my mom, asking, you know, how he can go about getting antidepressants. And that's when I first learned. We were about 18 years old. So I first learned, like, these pills are not just a happy pill. There's this idea that if you're sad, you just pop that pill and you're happy. That is not how these things work. Like, if you're going through a difficult time, like, sorry, baby girl.
And I said that about Amberlyn Reed and her weight loss surgery. Right? She thinks that's a magic pill. She thought her mental health pills were the same way. Sorry if you don't know who she is. Check out my other videos.
Like, my depression is a lot to do with like numbness, not feeling anything at all. You know, it's not as much about negative thoughts. That's something I just chalk up to normal because I get imposter syndrome and all that. But anyways, like about that comment, have you ever just tried being sad? I don't take these pills to not be sad. I embrace my sadness. I understand sadness is going to come. I understand, you know, even anxiety is going to come and everything like that. But here's why I take these medications.
Okay.
Even though I'm trying to be off of them many, many times. When I stop taking these medications, my head gets really loopy. All right? Like, that's why I take these medications. Like, and it's not just for me. It is very apparent. Like, it is like, my beautiful girlfriend Tristan and I, we are great communicators. I don't mean to brag, but we communicate fantastically. So, you know, I let her know, you know, issues I'm having.
Better than what you communicated in this video.
I recommend that for all of you.
Take old meds.
Is like two reasons. So a little bit of accountability, right? Like, you know, like if I'm taking my meds and, you know, all this other stuff. But the other one is like if I start getting a little wacky, I want her to know, like, there's something changed in my life, right? When it comes to my mental health medications. Because when we're struggling with mental health issues, we don't even know that they're happening, right? Because it's
not always.
All just one.
Not always. And that's why it's very important. I know not everyone can do therapy and stuff like that, but it is important to take your medications. But it's also important for you to, I'm a big believer in sitting down and just understanding your diagnosis, learning a little bit more of what it looks like, understanding what your symptoms look like, because it does get easier to acknowledge when you're having whatever type of episodes you might be having. So like I said, I'm bipolar. So now that I'm able to sit here and I understand my symptoms, I understand my diagnosis, I'm able to share with my psychiatrist or my partner or my friends, like, hey, I'm in a down moment. I'm in my downtime right now. Like, I'm hitting depression or I'm getting depressed. Like, things are getting a little, and when I'm up, when I'm in my mania, or what my version of mania looks like, because it's not all the way mania. I have hypomania, bipolar 1. When I'm up there, I know that as well because I understand my symptoms. So it's important. Like, there are a lot of people, especially when I say unchecked mental illness, it means when I say that, I'm talking about untreated. Unchecked means you're not paying attention to your symptoms. You might not learned about it, or you're living in your mental illness. Some people, that does happen. There are times where it does happen with me, where it might take me a while to understand that I'm depressed or I'm in my mania right now. But you are able to know that. And what I do like, though, I will say, is that his partner understands, like, what to look for and stuff. Like, he shares that with them. That's very important. It helps. It's good to have that support. I love it when my partner, out of nowhere, he'll ask me. I don't even have to tell him. He'll pick up on it as well. He'll be like, are you okay mentally? And I'll be like, no. Like, if I'm not, no, I'm not. And he'll be like, okay. And then he understands, you see? So it's good. I like that part. But not everybody doesn't understand what their symptoms look like, or what their disorder might look like, or their mental illness looks like.
It's all just our brain, right? So we start believing our thoughts. We start thinking this is normal. It's very hard.
That's when you're not treating
ourselves out of it. So it's great to have somebody.
It's hard
in your life who acknowledges this. But anyways,
it's hard.
Like Tristan, it's very apparent to her when I'm off my medications, right? Like, if I'm not taking them for a while. I did a video a week or two ago about,
same with me.
Replying to leafy greens. We're cool now. But yeah, just talking about, like, I get it. Like, when some of us, when we're off our meds, we get wacky, right? So,
so I
wanted to squash that kind of misconception that
so bad.
antidepressants or even anti-anxiety medications, whatever you're taking them for, like they're not all about just not being sad or not being anxious. Like when I say wacky, like let me elaborate on that.
Thank you.
My head races a million miles a minute. I've never been diagnosed with, other illnesses and everything like that. But, I do get very hyperactive. Some people ask me, like, are you manic? And things like that. Like, I go completely off the rails. And I'm just, like, there might be some videos that you can find of me where it's like, oh, maybe Chris wasn't on his medications. And, even if I was, like, I wasn't doing the other things to supplement those medications.
That's necessary as well.
If you have experience with this stuff, share them down in the comments below. Let me know why you take medications or why you don't or what your experience is. Like, I want this to be a community where we share our experience. But remember, everyone out there, I'm not a doctor, and most of the people you see down in the comments aren't doctors either. We are just sharing our experience, but always talk to a doctor, talk to a psychiatrist, a mental health professional.
Don't listen to what he said in the beginning of this video.
And by the way, there's a little bit of a debate on whether or not primary care doctors should even prescribe mental health
I don't think they should.
If that's something that you want me to talk about, let me know down in the comments.
Please do, because I want to talk about it as well.
If you like this video,
I want to talk about it as well. That is something I definitely don't think they should. But if he makes a video about that, that's when I'll have my conversation. I feel like I just sat here and watched a 14-minute video where he said some dumb stuff in the beginning, advocated taking medications that you shouldn't be taking because you're no longer being prescribed those. You shouldn't be taking those. Taking old medications and say how old they were. That's still something that's not okay. He alluded to the fact he understood that there are resources, there are places you can go to get assistance with your refills and stuff like that. He chose not to do it. And stated it proudly that he didn't do it. He was able to pay for his, it's just like, and this is where I'm annoyed because you made this whole story. First, you started off with, I'm not even going to get into the whole medication thing. You guys saw, I explained it. It's not just those two things. I hate that. But then you went in and you talked about, you took these meds and then you were able to get a prescription card and you paid $10 for the meds. You sat here and tried to tell this whole story to relate to your audience about not being able to afford, your medications or anything like that. Why was that story in here? Why did you say that? You could have just hopped on this platform, on your channel. You had to get past 10 minutes though, that's true. I just realized. You had to get past 10 minutes. That's what it was. Because you sat here in your whole first beginning of your video, you dry snitched your doctor. You dry snitched your doctor. You tried to make yourself relatable to your fan base who truly, when they say they can't afford it, they can't afford it. That means they can't even afford to go get the medication. You paid for the medications. You tried to relate. It didn't correlate. It didn't correlate. You tried to relate, but it didn't correlate. Hey. You listed two things of medications like, oh, it's just, no, let's educate. You're talking about, you say your channel's about mental health. You just totally dropped the ball. And all you really had to do is that second half of your video. That's where you should have started it and ended it. That's where you should have started it and ended the video. Because all you had to say, you could have started off with, literally, he could have just sat there and started off with the story of his friend and then why medications aren't happy pills. That's all you did. All you had to say. But because you needed to extend your video, you threw in about 2 books that sounded interesting until it showed me that you didn't learn anything because you named 2 things calling them, everything else is usually done. No. Then you sat here and dry snitched your doctor talking about she will give you refills without seeing you. Again, clarify this type of stuff because like I said in my own clinic, we will not prescribe you or give you a bridge to your next appointment if we haven't seen you in at most 2 months. At most. We usually do our med checks every 3 months. If you missed that med check appointment and then you waited another 2 months after, you're coming in. If we needed to reschedule your appointment and say it's a month longer, we'll give you a bridge. We don't need you to come in right now. But the way he made it sound like he ain't seen her in a minute. You dry snitched on her. And then told everyone you sat there and took old meds. I can't. I'm sorry. This is why I make my channel. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate y'all. But this is why I made my channel. These videos. This is why I made it. This is why I wanted to do this, because you're giving horrible advice, information. You gave good advice that you should have just. You didn't even have to tell the whole story. You didn't have to. You didn't have to. Gosh, you guys, I'm sorry. I'm annoyed. That's it. I'm glad I clicked on this video because I knew it was going to be something, and it turned into something. Let me know down below how, if you guys learned anything. Do you guys get what I'm saying? I'm speaking from my own experience working in this field and being a patient. I told you, when I see my doctor, it's instantaneous prescription sent. Don't have to wait. Don't have to worry. He knew about the resources he could have taken, which I also shared with you guys. I have links down below that you guys can check out as well. Use those if you do ever catch yourself in a bind. Don't be afraid to sign up for Medicaid, food stamps, anything like that if you are in need, because that's what it's there for. I'm good. I will see what he posts in the future. You guys will see me in another video, possibly tomorrow. I thank you guys so much. Again, before you leave, if you haven't subscribed, down below, comment, let me know what you guys think of this video. Do you get why I'm upset? Do you understand? I appreciate y'all so much for sticking around. I hope you guys have a great one, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.